grew up about a mile and a half away from here. Moved here when I was about 9 months old, so I don't want to do the math, but yes, it was about 50 years. 1994, my husband and I opened our office. We were in healthcare, and we actually opened it in Loman's Plaza. So, does anyone here remember that? It was like the hub, right? Which is really interesting because here in Palm Beach Gardens, that is about to become an even bigger hub. That's where our train station is going to go through. So I think it's kind of crazy that the place then, that's my husband, hi honey, that we opened up that office when I was 24 and he was 27. 4,500 square feet, staff of 20, we saw about 300 patients a week, and we did that for 2.5 decades. And for my 50th birthday, my husband said, what do you want to do? I said, I'm ready to run for office. And so I've chosen to run for city councilor, not just because I love my hometown. This is the library where I took my kids for story time. I mean, I love it here. But I've got the chops. I spent almost 3 decades in business, locally, understanding the importance of growing our economy while marrying sustainable growth, which is also super important to me. But I'm also on the city's planning and zoning board, so I really understand zoning and how things get built here. I'm also really lucky in that I am the vice chair of the Transportation Planning Agency's Citizens Advisory Committee. If you don't know what that is, it means for anybody in District 1, I'm your voice when it comes to roads and transportation. So I don't know if you've been reading the paper, you've been reading about the State Road 7 extension. That's the group that I've been volunteering for a couple of years. So I'm coming into this race with not only a love for my hometown, but a deep understanding of zoning, great ideas about mobility and transportation. So when I have been knocking on doors, and we've been knocking on doors for months, people tell me their biggest issue is traffic. Who lives in Gardens? That's here right now. Okay, my phone number is on here. You can call me anytime, just don't call me when you're in traffic, okay? I'm working on it. I have some really good ideas, and I do want to listen, so if you have some too, I want to understand. The reason I decided to run and to start knocking on doors and asking people about traffic is because I've been watching City Council for a while. And my opponent doesn't really get what's going on here. He talks about things like green space and parks, but then votes against them. So our beautiful new city park, he actually voted against that. Yeah, so, and I would not have done that. One of the biggest issues I hear about here is affordable housing. And as a parent, we have a 20-year-old, about to be 20 on election day for me, and he's gonna finish his school. He may not be able to afford to live here when he's done. And he wants to be a doctor, and he still may not be able to afford to live here when he's done. That doesn't sound right. My opponent also voted against an affordable housing measure at Avenue. The other thing we need to do is have diversity in business so that our tax base has a strong push. My opponent also voted against that when he voted against putting the Costco gas station in, which actually will be really pretty. I voted yes on that when I was in zoning. Yeah, it's gonna be beautiful. I did vote no at first because they didn't have any charging stations or a bike rack. Now, if we're gonna be a mobility city, we need to do it for everything. So you do need silly things like a $600 bike rack. That said, that's the kind of stuff we need. We want to be able to get around town. Which brings me to the most important thing about living in Palm Beach Gardens, aside from our beautiful quality of life. It's our safety and our security. If we have gridlock, if we don't have solutions for traffic, we're not gonna be safe and secure. Our businesses are not gonna be able to prosper, and our kids won't be able to get around. So these are the reasons I'm running, to be the hometown voice for our locals, to understand mobility, and I have some crazy Jetsons ideas about what we can do. We need to take care of our future, not just for what we're doing now, but for our kids. The other thing I've learned about knocking on doors is the importance of the environment and sustainability. So as you're driving around Palm Beach Gardens, you will not see one single plastic, unrecyclable sign with my name on it. We're gonna have one sign made of wood. We're about to put it up this week, and we're gonna be donating the wood to Habitat for Humanity when we're done. Those plastic signs go into our waterways. They last for hundreds of years. They grow algae on them and then become food for our fish. So let's think about it on every single layer. It's everything. It's safety, it's mobility, it is potholes, it is police. And that's why I've decided to run for city council, is to bring my knowledge, my understanding, and my absolute love affair with the city to my work. One last thing though, I want you guys to understand, when you look at this front row, almost everybody here has taken me out for coffee or lunch or come to my events. And I want to thank you guys for the fraternity I have found in running for office. It has meant the world, and to Eric for your mentorship. Thank you so much. Any questions?
So I do like the idea of having a charging station at Costco. I mean, we go there quite a bit and such. I would just, like to suggest stations in that regards.
I said several. Yeah, I asked for a minimum of 6.
But my that's a comment. My question more is along the lines of the plastic signs, because even driving down Donald Ross, we do live in Jupiter Farms, but we do see, the Matthew Lane right there on Donald Ross at Alton. We're
That's my opponent.
Palm Beach Gardens right off of Hood, and there's like all this stuff. So how do you counteract that public, advertising, that you're not able to get there?
Well, honestly, I think they're hideous, number one. So, and I can't read them when I drive by. So like I said, we're gonna have one very large wooden repurposed sign that will be out. We sent press releases, we have it on social media. On our Facebook page, we have almost 1,000 followers, and we get hits all the time. I don't have any other answer except for signs don't vote. Yeah, signs don't vote. We have over 56,000 residents here in Palm Beach Gardens. I personally have knocked on about 10,000 doors. So I think folks have gotten the opportunity to get to know me, and most of all, I've gotten to listen to them. So I'm hoping the fact that my face showed up at someone's front door makes up for the fact that I didn't pollute my neighborhood.
Now, you said you had some ideas about how to relieve the traffic.
I have a great one. Do you want to hear it? It is kind of Jetsons-y. Okay, the question is what are my ideas about relieving traffic? So Avenir is being developed west of the Beeline on North Lake Boulevard. It is zoned for 3,900 homes. Has anyone driven there already? It's already pretty tight, right? And then if you look at the TPA, the one that I'm the vice chair of their board, if you look at their long-range transportation plan, one of the plans is that the Beeline, right there at North Lake, is going to become probably a clover-type formation. That will be happening in the next 5 to 10 years. So not only are we building all these homes, we're redoing the intersection that is the largest. And I asked the folks at Avenir, why can't they just put in a really lovely commuter bus, for example? We're gonna have a train station here at PGA at Loman's, where we opened our first office, right? So if they could provide a commuter bus that could go from the train station and back, you can get 55 people on a bus. If they do it, maybe 1 or 2 buses, they're gonna take 300 or 400 trips off the road with 1 or 2 buses. I mean, you can have one that's gorgeous for your C-suite people or whatever, make it electric, make it something smart. That already reduces our trips by so many. Every time you look at one of these homes, these 3,900 homes, that's 1 or 2 cars per home. So just doing the math. So if they're gonna keep doing these developments, give us some transportation options aside from more traffic.
Thank you, Chelsea. Thank you all for being here today. It means so much to us that you were all here.